We interrupt this glorious time of year known as March Madness, the absolute best, to bring you an NFL Market Watch. A lot has been happening around the National Football League with free agency opening this past week and the draft right around the corner. So let's bring you up to speed and see if we can extract any value with some futures bets. The big story, Aaron Rodgers, you may have heard of him, has stated his intent to play football for the New York Jets. Now, I wish it was as easy as saying Aaron Rodgers is going to play football for the New York Jets. But nothing's ever easy with this guy. He went on the Pat McAfee show on Wednesday to state his intent to play for the Jets, so now it's about compensation. Here's what you need to know. Prior to all of this happening earlier in the week, the Jets were sitting around 25-1, 30-1 to win the Super Bowl. They are now 14-1 to win the Super Bowl. Now, the Jets would be better with Aaron Rodgers. Duh. Last year it was Mike White and Zach Wilson. It was a disastrous scenario. They won 7 games. They have a great defense. They have a great young rookie wide receiver, Garrett Wilson, who won NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year going into his second season. There's a lot to get excited about. And for the team to rank 28th in turnover differential last year, Rodgers would improve upon that. If you improve upon turnovers, you improve your wins. It's like the most key of metrics when determining wins and losses is turnovers. But is there value at 14-1? I say no. Look at the conference. You've got Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. You've got Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence is on the rise. Lamar Jackson could stay. Deshaun Watson could bounce back. It goes on and on and on. 14-1 for the Jets. That's a pass for right now. But I do think you can take a look at the AFC East odds, and there's one team that stands out to me. The Bills are still your favorite at a price of plus 135. The Jets are second at 2-1, Dolphins third at plus 360, Patriots bringing up the rear at 8-1. I'd look at the Miami Dolphins. Plus 360 is a hell of a price for a team that won 9 games last year. They did it with a rookie coach. They did it with a quarterback who looked quite good in that system. Just turns out he couldn't stay healthy. So that's the risk here. That's why we're getting plus 360. But they just traded for cornerback Jalen Ramsey to bolster their defense. They brought in Bradley Chubb last year. Vic Fangio is taking over as coordinator. That unit's going to be legit. Plus 360 if you're looking for a bet in the AFC East. That's the play when it comes to value. One move I want you to think about beating. I'm not sure if I phrased that properly. Let's look at how we can beat the market. That's a little bit easier to play around the kids. Beat the market. One play that came to mind that I don't think is going to be as valuable when people pay more attention to this and we get closer to the start of the season. The Jacksonville Jaguars are minus 135 to win the AFC South. Who are they competing with? Think about it for a second. Tennessee's 3-1. They made it clear they're trying to trade Derrick Henry and they want to move on from Ryan Tannehill. Their defense stunk last year. All right? The Indianapolis Colts are plus 450 with a rookie head coach and soon-to-be rookie quarterback. And then you've got the Houston Texans, who have been awful for a while. They're 11-1. We'll also have a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback. Who's competing with the Jaguars, who are on the rise? Trevor Lawrence, loaded roster. Doug Peterson's done a great job as head coach. Minus 140. I think this thing's going to creep closer to minus 180, minus 200 by the time we get to the start of the season. So it might be a move where you want to beat the market. Beat the market. It's going to end up becoming a thing. Let's make it a thing. All right, let's look at the NFL draft. A couple key storylines from this past week. Going back almost 2 weeks, the Carolina Panthers traded from the number 9 pick in this year's draft all the way up to number 1 with the Chicago Bears. They gave up a bunch of picks. Bears moved down. They're going to continue to build out their roster. It's going to take some time, although they did get DJ Moore in the trade, so that's another weapon at wide receiver for Justin Fields. But what's interesting is the number 1 overall pick and quarterback market for the NFL draft. What happened after this trade? Prior to the trade, CJ Stroud of Ohio State, who had a phenomenal semifinal playoff game against Georgia, he was your second/third-ish favorite to be the first overall pick. It was Bryce Young from Alabama. He was the favorite, somewhere around minus 120. All that changed instantly. As soon as the Panthers moved up to 1, CJ Stroud vaulted into the odds-on favorite role. He was sitting somewhere around minus 150 on the initial move, and then boom. 225, minus 275, all the way up to minus 350. That has settled back down at minus 275. The rumor is it's Stroud, maybe Anthony Richardson from Florida, maybe, although I'm not sure I'm buying into that rumor. I think there's still value on Stroud at minus 275. I got in early. I would still make that play if I were you. Looking around, if you can find anything about Will Levis, quarterback Kentucky, going to the Indianapolis Colts, file that one away. Not saying it's a lock, but I think the way it's all going to shake down with Indy at 4, they end up taking Will Levis. The first defensive player off the board market had a wild week as well. Jalen Carter from Georgia, the defensive tackle, was your favorite at the end of February and for a little while after, somewhere around -120, -130. Will Anderson, the pass rusher from Alabama, he was second at around +130. What ends up happening? Well, Jalen Carter's implicated in a situation in which he was drag racing another student from Georgia. That car crashed. People died. Very tragic. Obviously, we don't want to make light of that situation in any way, shape, or form. We're just bringing up the information because we are assessing the market, not to gloss over it in any way, shape, or form. But between that and Carter's pro day, which just happened this past week, which was a disaster by every stretch of the imagination. Pro day is supposed to be a walk in the park. This pro day, Carter ran out of breath and they had to stop doing the drills. The drills that he was set up to destroy because it's a pro day and you always look good at your own pro day. They have you run with the wind at your back so you're faster. They have you throw with the wind at your back so you look stronger. And somehow this guy shows up 9 pounds heavier and couldn't get through his own workout. So yeah, he's no longer the favorite to be the first defensive player off the board. At one time he was around -130, he is now +500. Will Anderson's gone from +130 all the way to -295. That's your market watch. Thank you for checking us out. We always appreciate it. We'll be back with more golf, more UFC. We've got a big boxing schedule coming up with a lot of great fights. You can now return to your previously scheduled March Madness.